What? Valentine. Open opposition.
Ahaneku.
What?
Ahaneku.
Closing government. Closing opposition. Easy. The motion is this House will ban individuals who have been convicted of crimes from seeking elective positions. And the opening government will be presenting the case to the House. Therefore, we invite the Prime Minister to open the case of the government.
My voice is not so good, so I'll try as much as possible to my voice. I'll try as much as possible. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, as the Prime Minister, I'm going to be doing key things in this debate. I'm going to be giving my definition of some terms I feel relevant. I'm going to be giving our policy on how we choose to enact this. I'm going to be giving you my substantive material, just why we want to ban it, why we think this ban is necessary, why we think it is going to be effective, and why we think that the consequences that will accrue if we do not ban these things are far, far detrimental, ladies and gentlemen. So when we talk about our definition, the first thing I feel is necessary to be defined in this topic is elective positions. Elective positions are positions whereby positions where people can be elected into power. From the opening government, when we talk about our elective positions, we're looking at positions that grant you immunity, grant you ability to not be tampered with, especially when you commit some certain kinds of crimes, ladies and gentlemen. Our policy, ladies and gentlemen, what do we want? We want a full-scale ban. What kind of crimes are we talking about? We're looking at crimes like killing, people that have been convicted of killing, most especially the kinds of killing that have been proven and legalized by courts in the past, ladies and gentlemen. We talk about things like robbery, and I've talked about elective positions. So, to my substantive material, giving our definitions and our policy. Now, first things first, why we think we want to ban these things. First point, protect society. Under this point, we have three sub-points. The first point, we think that it's the responsibility of the government to provide what is good for this entirety. Whether people are aware of it or not aware of the kinds of choices that they will make for particular kinds of leaders. Government is in entirety by social contract principle to provide what people need at the times when they need it, even when they make wrong choices, ladies and gentlemen. We think the government is there to actually stifle their choices to make the best out of them. And second of all, under to protect society, my second point is there are tendencies for these crimes to be committed again. I'm going to prove to you why we think this. Because recently, scientists have found that there are things called warrior genes. Warrior genes that promulgate you to take irrational actions. And why we think that this is most very important is because elective positions are positions of power. What kind of positions are we talking about? Things that grant you immunity. So when people come up with these kinds of genes, when they know that they've done this before, there are still tendencies for them to carry out these kinds of actions again. And we want to protect society from that, ladies and gentlemen, because it is a mass and the majority of people. We want to stop embezzlement and robbery in our politics. We think that when we convict these people of robbery legally in the past, and there is this tendencies for them to do, like I said in my previous aphorism, there are still going tendencies that they are going to, most especially when they are free and in a liberalized way because of the kind of immunities that they have, ladies and gentlemen. And fourth point on the protecting society, we're going to show you why there is a thread between our legal structure and our social structure in society. Yes, they might come and tell us that our social structure is a neutral sphere where people can actually opt into the kinds of things that they want, like their choices. But we see the legal structure trying to curtail the way people access the structure, because when people access this, they most of things like immunity, they can act irrationally. When it comes at the cost of the lives of millions of people, we are begged to actually enact this ban. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the social sphere is a sphere where people can act irrationally, most especially in times when they are granted cash immunity. We're very, very proud to put this ban. Before I get to why I think this is necessary, can I have your
I feel your definition is wrong, because you didn't tell us convicted. You define the word convicted there. Are they ex-convict? And your full-scale ban, is it throughout their life in
ladies and gentlemen, I think convicted is past tense. These people have been legally proven to committed these crimes in the past. That's what we're trying to tell you. If they've been proven legally to commit these kinds of crimes in the past, and we think that there are still tendencies of them to do it again, and that is why we want to ban them. Second of all, we're going to tell you why we think that this is necessary. Because we want to create checks and balances in our electoral system. Because, ladies and gentlemen, in Nigeria today, the electoral system of Nigeria is so porous. When people come up and form political parties, probably because of their private motive and their private gain. When they tend to do this, ladies and gentlemen, you would see people with different kinds of things that they want to bring into our politics just come up. If they want to steal, they come up. And when these people have been proven to commit these crimes, when we've clearly proven our authority that they have tendencies to do this again, we're very proud to do that. No, thank you, sir. Second point on why I think this is necessary. We want to proliferate a stable society through serene politics. You know, the problem with Nigerian politics is that people do not entirely trust their government, because people do not entirely believe that their government can adequately give them what they want. Now, in times where we elect leaders who have actually proven by their past records that they are capable of doing these kinds of things, we're still unsure of their future. When I told you things like warrior gene exists in these people and have been proven scientifically by the United States of America, ladies and gentlemen. So my third point on why I think this is necessary, we want to allow credible people opt into politics. We think that credibility is stifled, ladies and gentlemen, when people have different motives about our politics. You know, the reason why people have different votes about APC and PDP is because they're scared that Buhari will come back again and do the kinds of things he did in the past, ladies and gentlemen. We think these diverse motives and these diverse ideologies about what our leaders can do for us when they come into power is something that we cannot tolerate, most especially when it comes at the cost of millions of people, like killing and embezzlement of funds, things that are meant to use to create infrastructure that people necessarily need, ladies and gentlemen. No, thank you, sir. I'm going to be telling you again why I think this is effective. Ladies and gentlemen, we think it's going to be effective. It's going to create relative peace. When people trust their governments, like I told you before, what they tend to do is when the government chooses to enact a policy, they believe it, because their past records actually show that these people are credible enough to actually lead them. But when these people don't trust their government, there will be chaos, because most of the time when governments enact policies, we begin to say, okay, this is a policy that's centered almost to a particular party or APCs or people who support Jonathan and Buhari. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't want that dichotomy in society. But why we think again it's effective is that it's a long-term thing. We think that corruption in itself stifles true democracy. Corruption, when it comes to things like killing and embezzlement of funds, ladies and gentlemen, people cannot actually believe in the democracy so much. So what are the consequences, ladies and gentlemen? We see things like political demagogues come into play because they know that they have immense power to actually loot money, where they have immense power to actually act irrationally the way they choose to become. But these kinds of things are vehemently bad when it has to do with the kinds of lives that these people have lived before. We know that opening opposition will bring up cases like marginalization and sequestration. We think that these are not spheres that government still tries to regulate. What we stand to prove, we want to protect society, we want stable politics, and we want people to trust their government. We're very proud to be openly government.
Thank you, Prime Minister. We now invite the open opposition, represented by the leader of opposition, to advance the case of the opposition.
Mr. Madam Speaker, ladies and gentlemen, we feel the Prime Minister has failed to fulfill his obligation on this debate because he has failed to actually give us a clear definition of what it means by individuals convicted of crime. Is it talking of stopping ex-convicts from coming into power to seek for elective position, or is it talking of individuals who are ordinary individuals in the society who were actually convicted for different crimes, Mr. Speaker? We feel this argument is not actually clear. And he also didn't clarify to us this elective position. Is it talking of, because we tell you that elective position, these individuals will campaign, and individuals that love them vote for them into power. And he also failed to actually justify this reason. He also told us about his policy. How would he justify it? He said he wants a full-scale ban, and he was so specific, Mr. Speaker, by telling us a full-scale ban. He's talking of banning these individuals throughout their life on earth, not contributing meaningfully to the society by contesting opposition, or he's talking of his stipulated years. He didn't tell us that, Mr. Speaker. So we feel this argument is flawed. Now, what do we bring from the opposition side? We are going to be telling you that the argument from the government side that the reason why they want to ban this individual is because they want to bring credible leaders in the society. And we tell you, don't judge people based on their past, because these individuals that have gone to the prison have gone through a series of rehabilitation and are back to the society for the betterment of the society, Mr. Speaker. Because for them to be back to the society, it means they have been properly rehabilitated and have actually taken correction from all their mistakes which they have actually committed before going into prison, Mr. Speaker. So we feel you don't judge people by their past, but rather you judge people by what they will actually give to the society, Mr. Speaker. And if people actually voted, you don't force people to vote. It is rather people vote based on choice, people based on what they see and what they like about this individual, Mr. Speaker. That is why these people are voted into power. And also, if you're actually going to tell us, give us ban this individual based on their past records, then Nelson Mandela shouldn't have been the president of South Africa based on his past action, Mr. Speaker. So we shouldn't be talking about it because his arguments are actually flawed. He also told us about they want to protect the society. And we tell you the society you are protecting, there is also something they call social sovereignty. And social sovereignty refers to individuals having the right to make decisions by themselves and not to be enforced by the government, Mr. Speaker. So we feel if the people want to vote this individual into power, it is based on choice, it is based on the ideology which they feel these individuals will be able to give to the society, Mr. Speaker. So we feel this argument is flawed in this debate. And also, he came here to tell us about that the Nigerian politics is flawed by mismanagement of funds and incredibility. We feel if you actually want to curb mismanagement of funds, or you want to curb bad leadership, you don't curb bad leadership by actually segregating people, by actually discriminating people, and actually stigmatizing people based on their past records. Because when you do that, you are actually causing marginalization in the society. Because we tell you that in the status quo, we are trying to curb the stereotype people place on ex-convicts, Mr. Speaker. And you bring in this policy, Mr. Speaker, you're actually escalating and aggravating the problems and the discrimination, Mr. Speaker, that ex-convicts actually face in the society. If we don't buy into this ideology, what do we bring to you from the opposition side? We're going to tell you that it is the fundamental right to vote and be voted for. And also we'll be telling you that about distribution, why distribution is important in this debate. And also we'll be telling you that it is not necessary to actually curb the problem which we want to solve, Mr. Speaker. I'll take you.
Okay, now you give us a rhetoric about Mandela. Mandela killed trying to protect his own people. We're talking about people who killed their own people, ladies and gentlemen.
Mr. Speaker, in his definition, he didn't give us based on people that killed Africa. So I feel that argument, Mr. Speaker, should not come now. Maybe your deputy prime minister brings that, Mr. Speaker. Now, what do we tell you about retribution? We tell you about fundamental rights, first of all. We tell you that every individual has the right to vote and be voted for. And if you actually have the right to be voted and be voted for, we feel the government does not have the right to actually infringe on these people, because the government has already punished you for your actions by going to the prison. And you coming back to the society, it means the government has agreed to accept you back to the society. So you are free to actually do whatever you want to do, Mr. Speaker, and also free to actually seek election, seek political positions, Mr. Speaker, into any various offices which you feel you are actually credible to handle. Because we tell you that even before this individual going into the prison, going to the prison, it means that they've actually gotten good academic record, or Mr. Speaker, based on some mistakes they've actually made in the past that actually made them go into the prison. And for them coming back into the society, it means that the society has decided to accept them back into the society, and they actually have the right, Mr. Speaker, to be voted for, Mr. Speaker, by the masses. And also based on retribution, Mr. Speaker, we tell you that why retribution is a very important issue in this debate is because retribution is a process whereby the government actually tries to accommodate people, accommodate ex-convicts back to the society, but also try to make these people understand that because they are back into the society, they have the free right to actually do whatever they want to do, as long as they don't infringe on other people's rights in the society. And also try to explain to you that if these individuals would actually, if these individuals would be denied of their right to be voted for, it means the society is actually excommunicating them entirely from the society. Because we tell you that every individual in the society has a right to make meaningful contributions to the society. So if you're pushing them, it means you don't want them to make contributions to the country and to Nigeria at large. So we feel we don't buy into this ideology. And also, why is this our policy necessary, Mr. Speaker? That our policy is necessary in this debate because we are trying to curb segregation, curb discrimination, curb marginalization in the society, and also trying to reduce the amount of stereotype people place on ex-convicts, Mr. Speaker, in the society. And why is it also necessary? We are trying to tell you that individuals who have gone to the prison, for the fact that in prison, it doesn't mean that they cannot actually contribute meaningfully into the society. Then because based on human errors in the society that actually made them go into the prison, Mr. Speaker. We give an example with the present Abia State Governor, Theodore Oji. He went to prison, Mr. Speaker, and came back to actually contest petition, and people voted for him, not because they were compelled, but because they loved him. And for the fact he went to the prison, Mr. Speaker, they felt that he went to the prison based on political masterminding, Mr. Speaker. So we feel most of these crimes, Mr. Speaker, which the opening government actually come to bring this debate, is because this individual, most of these crimes, they might not have committed this crime, but rather this crime must have been political masterminded to blackmail this individual. So when they come back in the society, people already know that these people are actually credible to handle this position, Mr. Speaker, and so they vote for this individual to go into the society. And Mr. Speaker, based on impunity, if you're trying to curb impunity, we tell you that impunity is something that the government actually gives to anybody who climbs the position of authority in order to actually detract opposition from disturbing his government and actually disturbing his governor. Mr. Speaker, what have we told you in this debate? We've told you that the policy which these people are advocating is not necessary because they are trying to bring segregation, marginalization in society. And we've also told you that the society, Mr. Speaker, accommodates all, and these people have already gone through the process of rehabilitation and they've been corrected from their mistake. And that is why we told you about distribution back into the society, Mr. Speaker. And we also told you that we are trying to reduce stigmatization and stereotype in the society, Mr. Speaker. We are proud to do that.
Thank you, leader of opposition. Now, welcome the Deputy Prime Minister.
Good evening, House. Ladies and gentlemen, I think the leader of opposition has clearly contradicted himself when he said that Theodore Oji was politically masterminded and put into prison, and as such he came out again and people should vote for him. And he also gave us instances that Nelson Mandela was a convict, and so that the policy that we're preaching means that people like Nelson Mandela can never come and seek for elective positions again. Whereas pure history told us that Nelson Mandela was fighting for the right of his people, and he was not legally convicted. We told you clearly that people who have been legally convicted are people who have been proven criminals, and we gave you these crimes. We gave you these crimes to be crimes of killing and crimes of robbery. We don't make it open to every form of conviction, but convictions that are capital killings, and people who impose on other people's rights. What did he call marginalization? He called marginalization limiting people's rights. And we tell you that at the point you begin to take people's lives, you are beginning to marginalize them. So we think that these people are the progenitors of marginalization and not ourselves. And because they have started to bring about marginalization, we think that this gene, these behaviors are innate in them. And if we give them opportunities again, they will still turn out to be marginalizers, and we don't want such people. Ladies and gentlemen, what did he tell us? That it is their fundamental right to vote and be voted for. But we tell you that right is not absolute. You cannot comfortably tell me that because it is your right to vote and be voted for, and then it is also your right to take other people's life. Because what we're important here is people who kill other people and think that it is justified to kill other people because they feel they can kill people, go to prison for 1 year, come out and seek elective positions. We don't want such people in the society. And what if they bring the concept of life, then they should respect the issue that people have the right to live. He told us also why it is necessary that is going to cause marginalization and issues like that. But I think I'm going to prove this thing in my positive argumentation. What did my Prime Minister tell you? He gave us reasons why it is to protect society. He gave us reasons why it is necessary, why it is effective, and the consequences. I'm going to be telling you 4 key things in this debate. 1, healthy governance. 2, protection of citizens. 3, national prestige. And 4, deterrence. Healthy governance. What do we mean by healthy governance? Mr. Speaker, will tell you the concept of crime is that crimes are not committed individually. People commit crime in a network. People commit crime in a web. And that is why we think that whenever people have been convicted of criminal crimes, it seems as if they committed these things alone. But if you give these people like this opportunities to come into elective positions again, it means that they're going to bring back all their allies. They're going to bring up all those people that aided them in committing these crimes, and they'll put them into the administration and we'll have an unhealthy governance. We want to expunge corruption from our government system, and that's why we don't want people who have criminal threats in them to come into our government, because they're going to bring back people who are like them into governance. Before I proceed to my second point, I will engage you.
If you talk of healthy governance, there are even people who have not gone to prison but cannot give us healthy governance. So if you healthy governance is not important,
Mr. Speaker, the issue of if there are people who don't give us healthy governance and they come into governance is different from people who have been legally convicted criminals coming into our government system. We're talking about people who have been legally convicted, people who the world know that they are criminals, people who the world know that they are robbers, coming into our government structure. Those are the people that this debate is concerned about. To my second argumentation, which is the protection of citizens. Mr. Speaker, the reason why I make a choice and I cry for the consequences of that choice I make is because I didn't know the undertone consequences that choice will bring about in the future. And that's what we think, because it is the government who has the history, who has the facts, who has the data of all these people who will come to seek elective positions. We think that government has the duty to protect its citizens, because some of these people may have committed these crimes at times when I had not been born, and because they will come and brainwash me, because they will come and give me money, I will not have to make a choice to vote them, because I think they have what it takes. But we think because the government knows these people's history, it is the duty of the government to protect its citizens from some of the consequences that their choice will bring about. We tell you also that even within our third point, to protect national prestige. What do we mean by protection of national prestige? We tell you, Mr. Speaker, the reason why every country in the world wants to do business, wants to have economic ties with America is because they know that they have a serene politics. They know that they have politics that has not been infiltrated by criminals. They know that they have policies that have not been masterminded. That is why we think, what a national prestige, a government when people know that our politicians are people of integrity, our politicians are people who keep to their word, our politicians are people who have clean criminal records, our politicians are people who have not been convicted, people who cannot put threats in the future. So we want our nation to be a nation that can open up its borders to other nations to come and do things because they trust us. We don't want our nation to be nations of Libya with Gaddafi, where the world will come to fight against us instead of coming to do business with us. Lastly, I tell you that it will bring about deterrence. Mr. Speaker, we identify the fact that there are problems in society that can push people into committing crimes. But when these people also know that in future they may want to seek elective positions, and if they are convicted of the crimes they commit today, they will not seek that elective positions, these people will have no other choice than not to commit crime. What will this bring about? It will bring about a crime-free environment. It will bring about an environment where people no longer commit crimes, but to concentrate on making the society better. It will bring about youths who are innovative, youths who will not think that the only way to succeed is by receiving bribe, is by robbing banks, is by killing people, because they feel it is the thing that will make them live at the moment. What is a society where people will no longer look at the moment, but look into the future, when they think that there are ideologies that will come into them and make them seek for elective positions. Mr. Speaker, we also, my Prime Minister clearly also told you why it's going to create it. Because it's going to bring about relative peace. And this connects to my argument. It will bring about relative peace. When people know that in a society, your potential, your record will be dented if you are a criminal, our society will be clouded with peace. Our society will be serene. Our society will be open for business. People will begin to have ideologies that are driven towards innovation. towards development and not ideologies that are criminally minded. Because nobody wants to go into prison, come out tomorrow and will dent his future for life. We don't want situations like this. What have you tried to make this debate? We have tried to tell you clearly that crimes we are talking about are crimes that involve killing and robbery. Crimes, and we also clearly told you that that these people are people that have been legally proven criminals. I want to tell you that we want to sanitize our governance, we want a society free of crimes, we want a society free of corruption, and we want our legal structure and our government structure to be people of integrity and not wayward brainless. With these points, we are proud to propose.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Madam Speaker, we kept on saying our opening government, which came up here and kept on repeating the same thing. And what are we saying in this debate? We are telling you that banding still does not have the power to cut these people or to stop these people from killing, as they rightly say, in the society. We have also made you understand that these people have been retributed in the society because these people are ex-convicts, and that is why these people are coming back into the society to make the society better. And that is why we feel that these people should be given an opportunity, because this is the thing of right, this is the thing of choice. I vote for you because I like you. I don't vote for you because of your past record, and we feel past record holds no water, because I don't judge you by what I see you yesterday. I judge you by what I'm seeing right now. So I believe the present is better than the past. Madam Speaker, may I also correct some notions in this debate? May I also tell this house that banding is also equivalent to excommunication, because this could lead these people from running away from the society. This could chase these people entirely away from the society, and this would not help these people to be retributed back. We feel that this is a denial of rights, and we feel that this has no way of bringing true repentance. We preach for repentance, and that is why we feel that these people should be given an opportunity, because they have learned from their lesson. And that is why we feel that the opposition, the government side, has also failed to understand this. Mr. Speaker, may I also understand that I also saw the government side came out here to tell us on warrior gene. The warrior gene they never proved. Warrior gene they never even explained. I tell you that this is not possible, because this is not visible in our society. I've not seen a politician or someone that has been charged for a crime said to have warrior gene. I feel, as they rightly said, they said corruption. We all know corruption is inherent in the society, and we feel that basically these things are basically politicians. Let's just start them as politicians, because we say politicians are being charged for crimes, and that is why we feel that these people in our society wants to come back to the society. Madam Speaker, may I also give this house an example? Obasanjo was in prison. Chris Ironwood was also in prison during the military era, and that is why we feel that they have been back into the society. We feel that this is not, they said illegal, legal. I don't even understand what they mean. They said that they mean legal convicted people. We tell you that I can say Obasanjo was legally convicted. He can say Obasanjo was illegally convicted. I tell you this is a disparity between society, because each people in society will tell you this. So we tell you that it's not proven, and that is why we tell you that most of these people, they are being put into these prisons because of the governmental policies of that thing, and that is why we feel that their point holds no water. Madam Speaker, we also saw our government side also came out here, the opposition side, which came out here and gave you an example like Mandela. We tell you that whether you say Mandela was legally or illegally put in prison, we tell you that it is also being proven that Mandela was rational, Mandela was irrational, and Mandela was radical, and that is why we feel that he is there. But we felt that he came back into the society, with a peaceful policy, and that is why we saw an act of repentance in Mandela. We saw an act of change in Mandela. So we tell you that change is inherent in our society, and we tell you that these people has the possibility of learning in our society. We tell you that give these people a choice, because this is a matter of choice, and this is a matter of I want to vote this person because I like this person, not by what I see. First of all, what am I bringing to this debate? On my positive matter, first I will be telling you why this has the possibility of bringing conflict into our society. But before then, I would like to hear some rebuttals from you.
Prove to us this debate why your group, past good records did not contribute to you coming out to this debate. Why the records you set before did not contribute to bringing into this debate. debate.
Madam Speaker, we also saw a government side, let me remember, we also saw a government side that still never told us how banding will stop these people from killing, or how banding will still stop these people from robbing in society. I may remember the government side a full-scale ban. Okay, what do you tell me a full-scale ban? You tell me that these people would be life banded, and that is why we tell you that you are excommunicating this person from the society. You're not giving this person the chance to come into the society. We tell you that this past record they say, we tell you that these people are ex-convicts. They have learned from their lessons, and we tell you that these people wants to come back to the society. You give them a choice, because if you don't give them a choice, you are infringing on their rights. That is what my opposition side told you about. We also make you understand that this is an elective principle. When one wants to come out for a position, we tell you that they have been elected. They have been elected because of their people want them. So we tell you that when you don't allow these people to be elected, we tell you that this would cause an opposition conflict, because we tell you that these people have people in the society which supports them, and we tell you that the government is not bringing these people back into society. I rightly told you on my positive matter, of this bringing crime, of this bringing conflict, and this bringing anarchy in our society. First, why do I say this? I tell you that most of all these people that are being charged are people that are respected in our society. Sit down. Are people that are respected in our society. Are people that previously they hold these positions in our society, and are people that, yes, probably they've made a mistake. Yes, and that is why they are ex-convicts, because they have gone through repentance. They've made this mistake. But we tell you that when they come back into the society, whereby they have a lot of people into the society, whereby they have their opposition people, whereby they have their party people, those that support them previously, when you don't give them this chance, we tell you that this will lead into conflict into the society. We have seen it. I may give you an example in Russia, whereby we see how Putin has so much criticized the opposition party, whereby Poroshenko has been imprisoned, and we tell you that this does not have the power to bring these people back into society, because when you ban them, you're only leaving these people out of the society, and that is why my opposition side told you that this will cause stigmatization, this will cause discrimination and marginalization, because people tend to see them the way they are before, and there is something bad in that. When people tend to see me the way I am bad, where people tend to see me the way I was before, where people don't understand that I am now repentant, I am changed, and I tell you that this is what we the government side want people to see from us. We tell you that we would come out with some sensitization plan, with some public opinion, where we will orient the society that these people have changed, that we want to accept these people into our society, and these people have the right to contest. And that is why, on my summarizing, I will also tell you what have we brought into this debate. We have told you that this ban has no way of curbing these people. This ban has no way of stopping these people from committing these crimes. Rather, we also make it that retribution process is a better way of bringing these people back into our society, because we tell you that change is something that is inherent in our society, and these people have the ability to contribute in our society. We also tell you that their policies is ineffective, because a full-scale ban would not help our society, but rather will bring our society into disintegration, because you will see various factions which tells you that I want him back, this tells you I want you back. So with the government, a democratical government, we want this person to have that opportunity. On this, we are proud to approach.
Thank you. That brings to a close the opening half of this debate. We now move on swiftly to the closing half. Welcome the member of government.
Madam Chair, in this debate, we have an opposition who has failed to simply understand the policies that government has brought out. They have failed to understand and analyze the case of opening government. Mr. Chair, this motion simply means that we as a government will place a ban on people that have been convicted of crimes, that have been tried and found guilty of these crimes by a court of law, from going into public elective positions. And this was very explicit in the case of opening government. Mr. Chair, as member of government, I shall briefly analyze what went on in the first half of the debate, and shall rebut critically the opening position of this debate, and provide our extension in in form of six basic arguments and benefits of our stand. Mr. Chair, we'll be telling you that crime in itself is inherently bad. We'll be telling you that we'll be promoting the fundamental ideals of democracy. We'll be telling you that we'll be increasing the legitimacy and trust of the people in governance. We'll be telling you that it will serve as a punishment in extension to the individual. We'll be telling you also that it will serve as a deterrent to the members of the public who have views or who have political interest in mind, and also we'll be telling you that it will go a long way to reduce government expenditure. Mr. Chair, but firstly, to what opening government did. Opening government came out here to tell you that elective positions are basically positions that grant individuals or people in this position immunity and other forms of special attention, and they gave a policy that they will be instituting a full-scale ban on crimes like killing, robbery, murder, and so on. They were very explicit about this. They talked about protecting the society. They talked about the tendencies for these crimes to be committed again by these individuals. They talked about the fact that they want to stop embezzlement of funds by these individuals. They talked about the fact that they want to they emphasize the thread between our legal structure and our social structure. They also talked about the necessity of our stand. They brought to this house checks and balances, proliferation of a stable society, and allowing credible people to hold political position. Now, what do we get from opening opposition? Opening opposition basically went on and on to talk about that people convicted of this crime have repented because they have gone to prison. They took a huge burden of proof upon themselves and failed to prove to this house how the people that have gone to prison will come out better and bigger and better individuals in the society. Also, they talked about the fact that it's a fundamental right for these individuals to vote and be voted for. But like opening government rightly said, rights are not absolute, Mr. Chair. But the right of an individual stops where the right of another individual begins. They talked about the elective principle, using the elective principle, going into political offices to show repentance. But we say that going into political offices is not the only way to show repentance, Mr. Chair. If you want to show repentance for your crimes that you have committed, you can go to the society and provide the basic needs to the people in the society. It is a better way to show for repentance for the crimes you have committed, other than going into political offices. Mr. Chair, now I'll tell you that crime is inherently bad. Mr. Chair, crime is crime and in itself is inherently bad. Opposition might want to argue that there are petty crimes like stealing of a goat in the market and other. But Mr. Chair, we believe that these people that steal goats or these people that commit crime at the lower level, when they go into these public offices, because they are at a larger scale, they will tend to commit this crime. Crime is crime, Mr. Chair. Also, we will promoting the fundamental ideal of democracy. Mr. Chair, democracy has as its basis a government of credible individuals who have the mandate and legitimacy of the people. Mr. Chair, there's enough democratic nations like the United States of America, Britain, France, Canada, Italy, and so on have put this into practice. And we take these people as a model for Nigeria, that is a developing country, in terms of our democratic standard and ethics. Mr. Chair, if advanced countries like this have taken it, then Nigeria should take it. Please sit, sir. Also, we tell you that we will be defacing our government in the Committee of Nations and on the international democratic scene if we do not place this ban. Mr. Chair, take for example a country like Italy. The former Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi was made to step out of office because he was simply alleged of sex scandal by a court of law. And also, we will be increasing the legitimacy and the trust of the people in government. If government adopts this ban, governance will be a matter of nobility and professionalism. And if the people see that governance is a matter of nobility and professionalism, they will have trust in government. They will know that these people at the top, at the helm of affairs, are going there to represent them in all ramifications without any form of corruption and so on. I'll take you, sir.
For individuals to be an ex-convict, it means while in prison, they are rehabilitated and they are actually taking correction. So when it's coming back in society, it means that a good individual. So
in your argument, you fail to prove to this house how going to a prison and coming out, going to a prison where you meet criminals of like mind, you fail to prove to this house how it will promote the ideals or the morals and ethics of such an individual, such that when he comes back to the society, he will be a better individual. Mr. Chair, I was talking to you about leading to legitimacy and trust of the people in government. Now, why is it significant for the people to have trust in government? It is significant because it will lead to efficient and effective governance of the people. If government is at the top, making laws that favor the people, and the people are cooperating with these laws, abiding to them, because simply the government has the legitimacy of the people, the society will function efficiently and effectively without mishap or qualms. Mr. Speaker, also it will serve as punishment in extension to the individual. If we place a ban on those convicted of crime, it will ensure that these individuals these individuals, especially those that have access to funds that can meander their way through through the legal system, Mr. Chair, such as paying of fines and order. It will ensure that they are adequately punished for this crime that they have committed, without being able to meander their way through their affluent or aristocratic nature. And Mr. Chair, also it will reduce government expenditure. Currently, government spends a lot of money trying to maintain prisons where we keep these people, trying to feed these people on daily basis for the number of years by which they stay in prison, Mr. Chair. And if we tend not to send these people to prison and simply stop them from contesting in public for fight for public offices, Mr. Chair, will be reducing the economic strain on the government. Deterrence to the public. Many people in the society have political ambitions, no matter how little, at the state, at the local, at the federal level. Many people in the society have political ambitions in one way or the other, and we'll be giving them it will be a deterrent to these individuals not to go into crime in order not to crash their political ambition that they hold for now or the future. Mr. Chair, now what is the benefit of government, sir? It will complement the inherent weakness in the legal system and aid more efficient criminal justice system, which is currently undergoing reform. Mr. Chair, it will also deter the people from indulging in crime, like was stated in the argument. It will institute a government that has the legitimacy of the people, and finally, it will empower and positively orientate the new generation of youth that we have today. Mr. Chair, what has closing government been able to tell you? We've been able to tell you that crime in itself is inherently bad. We've also been able to tell you that we're promoting the fundamental ideals of democracy, giving you an example of countries like United States, Italy, and so on. We've also been able to tell you that we'll be increasing legitimacy and trust of the people in governance, and we've been also able to tell you that it will serve as a punishment in extension to this individual, and it will serve as a deterrent to the public on the larger scale, and it will lead to reduction in government expenditure. It is on this basis that we are very proud to propose. Thank you.
Thank you, member of government. We now welcome the member of opposition.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Speaker, I believe it is in trouble when they decide to streamline the definition to favor them and end up caging themselves. We've had an opening government that came up to tell us that the kind of criminals they're talking about are people that have gone into killing. For God's sake, we are very sure that the punishment for murder is the death sentence. So are we saying that people who have been convicted and murdered and hanged or shot or that have been executed will come back from the dead to come and contest for this elective position? With that, we said that they do not have an argument. Also, we know that this government side is in trouble because we have this member of government that has been able to come here and tell us that government spends money to reform these people in prison. So if we are saying that we should not allow them go for elective position, so we are saying that the government side is wasting money to reform these prisons because we believe that the prison is where they should be reformed. I believe that this government has failed to understand first and foremost the definition of a prison. The prison, as we know, is a place where people who have been convicted of different crimes are placed for purposes of rehabilitation, reorientation, and then correction. You cannot tell me that somebody will go to prison and come back and be worse than he has been. No, that is not so. If it is true, then our law does not have a firm grip on them. Now, let me go straight into why I have come here. Like I told you, I'm supposed to come here to make some clarifications, which I have already made in terms of reporters, and then I'll go to my extension and I will tell you why we oppose that this people should be banned, and then I'll go ahead and tell you the benefit that we'll have from not banning them. I've also been able to make the clarification like I told you. I also want to point out something from the closing government. They told us that if we ban these people, that it will increase trust among the populace, that they will trust their government. We also forgot that if these people come out and that will stigmatize them, we increase fear among the populace because they will be scared of this person that we are stigmatized. What will they do since they have not been able to be integrated into the society? He also mentioned that banning them will promote our international edifice. Now let me tell you that what is international edifice? The whole world smiles at any country that respects human rights to its full extent. So if we want Nigeria to shun the human rights of this person that have gone to prison and say that they cannot contest for elected position, then the whole world will frown at us, and then we will have a bad image in front of the whole world. What do you have to say?
In increasing scale on the public when people come out from prison, don't you think it is fulfilling the purpose of deterrence on the part of the public?
It is not fulfilling that purpose. Because first of all, I have mentioned to you that, and like you also mentioned, that you, the government side, spend a lot of money, huge amounts of money to reform this person. Are you saying that the reformation is not working? Is that what they're trying to prove to us? Mr. Speaker, I think that this government side do not even know why they are here. They don't even know the motion that they have brought to us. Let me go straight to my positive matter. Why do we oppose? Why do we believe that this one should not be banned? To enhance their integration into society. Now, if you allow this one and if they come out and you say that they should not be integrated into society, now they will do worse things. Because first of all, you are stigmatizing them, you are making them segregate from the community. They cannot associate with other people. So what they will do is that they will want to go back into crime and to do worse things. And then you will send them back into the prison that they are trying to tell us that it has already failed. Now let me also tell you that, okay, we want to avoid stigmatization. This point has already been raised by the opening opposition. But we are going to tell you as an extension that the effect of stigmatizing these people is that we will end up creating more criminals. So we will end up having a waste of resources because all the resources that the government side have put into the prison will be a waste if we stigmatize them and they go back into crime. We also tell you that banning these people, not banning them will help to curb corruption in the sense that if somebody has gone to prison, let's say for embezzlement, he went to prison and he stayed 5, 6, 7, 8 years and he came out, he will be scared. It is a natural phenomenon. If you beat a child for stealing something, he will not steal it the next day because if he does, you will beat him again. So there's no way that these persons will come up and increase corruption. Rather, they will reduce it because they have already tested the cold arms of the law. Now, I also want to tell you that banning these people, why we should not ban them is to uphold their constitutional rights. First of all, we know that everybody has equal rights, like your opposition mentioned to you, the right to vote and to be voted for. Now, if you ban these people, you are infringing on their constitutional rights. It means that you are banning them from the right to participate and to associate. It is a fundamental human right, and we, the Nigerian government, cannot stand to inhibit this on the part of the ex-convicts. Now, also, it will defeat the initial aim for having set up this prison. I've mentioned this point. The aim for prisons is corrective measures, rehabilitation. Now, if we say that these people will come out and then they will be stigmatized, they will not be allowed to contest for elected positions, then it will defeat the aim for why we have prisons. Before I go straight into the benefits of not banning them, what's the question?
Okay, can you prove to us why it is credible to vote people based on assumption and not proving clear actions?
First of all, we are not voting them based on assumption because they are going to go into campaigns and then we're not saying that if somebody goes into prison and comes out, that they will embrace him and say, come and be our president. No, he has to prove to the populace that he is capable of becoming our president. He has to prove to the populace that he is capable of becoming our governor or our senator. Let me also mention to you the issue of Chris Anyanwu that was mentioned by the open opposition. Chris Anyanwu has been a 2-time senator. She's actually contesting for gubernatorial seat in Imo State, and she owns Hot FM that we know is widely recognized in Imo State. This is someone that has gone to prison for an issue of embezzlement of public funds, and now she's come out to even employ more labor in the system. So what we are saying is that she has been corrected. She learned the purpose of going to prison, and that was why when she came out, she was able to improve the economy of this country. Let me go straight into the benefits of not banning them, which will also further buttress my point on your POI. Now, it will create an unstigmatized political society. We will not have this elitist kind of government where a particular group of persons are the people that will want to go into the presidency or want to go into office of public offices. It will also improve national security because if these persons are not allowed to go for the post that they wish to go, now they will end up taking into arms, and then these kind of persons are the persons that other politicians use as thugs. So it will help if we do not ban them, it will help us to curb the issue of national insecurity, because if you ban them, they will go and take up arms, and then we will have the issue of the insurgency and the rest of the narcotic crime. Now finally, it will improve our image on the international scene, as against the member of government has told us. If we uphold the fundamental rights of this person, like every other government of the world does, then whatever argument that the world does, then it will improve our status in the front of the world community. What have we been able to tell you, Mr. Speaker, in this debate? We have been able to clarify some facts that the government have failed to mention. We have been able to tell you why we oppose this motion. This is because we want to enhance the reintegration into society, avoid stigmatization, curb corruption, to uphold the constitutional rights, and defeat initial aim for this prison. Benefits is that it will create an unstigmatized political society, improve national security, improve our image. For this reason, we think that the present opposition should be in this debate.
Thank you. We don't welcome the whip.
Madam Chair, there are certain key issues remain uncontested in this debate coming from the government side, and that is the fact that there's a tendency that this crime will repeat. The entire opposition team failed to prove to us that if someone says he has repented, he has actually repented. Whose word are we taking for it in the first place? The word of an ex-convict. We will not risk that. How many people actually come and repented? They came to give us a few examples, and then I tell you, as against those examples, there are 1,001 other people who come out and still perpetrate those crimes in our community. I'm going to be analyzing this debate first on the opening half, then I'll bring to you what our extensions were. We get from opening government the idea that they want a full-scale ban, and they gave us a definition of elective position as position in which people can be elected into, which gives them immunity. They also told us that their crimes are crimes such as killing and robbery. They also told us arguments such as the protection of society, and that it is government responsibility to do so because there's a tendency of the repetition of this crime. They also told us the relationship between the legal structure and the social structure. Also, they gave us the necessity of this policy. They also told us that it will allow credibility in government. They also told us how it will be effective given the fact that it's on a long-term basis. They told us that there are adverse consequences for not implementing this plan. They also gave us that the point that it will encourage healthy governance. They told us it will lead to the protection of people in extension. They told us about the national prestige and the issue of deterrence. Then what do we get from side opposition? They came here to tell us that there's the issue of social sovereignty. And then I tell you that the social sovereignty has no really relevance to this debate. You know why? Because it is not only in one aspect that you can prove your worth to society. It's not only in the aspect of political positions. Madam Speaker, there's such a thing as corporate social responsibility. Please sit. You cannot tell me that the political positions are the only means by which ex-convicts can prove their worth to society. You want to show us you've repented, do other things for society, not basically advocating for an elective position, when we have already proven to you that there's a tendency that after doing that at a small scale, you go and enlarge it in politics. Please sit. They also brought the issue of fundamental human rights. And then I tell you, rights are not absolute, rights are limited, and a right will be taken away from you as soon as you infringe on another person's right. That is what the Constitution provides for. So assuming I kill somebody and my life is supposed to be taken, then they brought the irrelevant issue of people that died or people that death sentences will not arise to come and contest. We tell you that there's an issue of clemency on the part of government. People stay in dead row for 10 years and then they are declared free. They come back and you tell us to give these people an open ground to contest. We've seen serial killers, we've seen rapists. Are you telling us that when they return from prison, maybe because they were able to maneuver their way out, we should give them positions in government? We are saying no. Please sit. They also brought up the issue of repentance. Then I ask you, which word are we taking for it? Is it the ex-convict word? Because we've already shown you in our debate that it's not enough to say you've repented. It's enough to show that you've repented. And political positions are not the only way you can show that you've repented. Also, they told us that they'll be covering marginalization. And then I asked, who are you marginalizing? Is it the man that comes out of prison and is coming direct into our politics? What is he trying to tell us? What is he trying to tell us? He has learned a lot from that place and is coming to establish it on the large scale. They've been unable to prove to us that when those people come out, they have better things to offer to society. They only laid claims that are unfounded. I'll take your point.
Yes, ma'am. I'm not banning this person is the status quo. Can you prove to us with the example what is wrong with the status quo?
What did you say?
Not banning this person is the status quo.
Currently, Madam Speaker, people are not banned from political position. Okay, we've been able to tell you that when we allow those people to come into our politics, there are a lot of disadvantages, which opening government did not fail to mention. They told us a lot of disadvantages. They told us the harm that will arise from allowing these people to occupy our political positions, and that is what we are proposing as government. They also told us that it will increase positive input in society, and I've already stated it's not through elective positions that you can show that you have something positive to give to society. Madam Speaker, they told us that we should not judge people based on the past. How do we then judge people? Is it based on the future? Madam Speaker, what you have done in the past determines 99.9% of what you will do in the future. Most times people repent, but more than 90% of the times people don't repent because people are serial killers, because people are rapists, and when they come out of prison, they go back to those activities. Please see, they told us also that from closing opposition, we get the issue that
yes,
that will enhance integration. Then we ask people undergo training in prisons not to come and occupy elective positions, but to give into society differently. They train them to be barbers simply because we acknowledge the fact that they don't have jobs to do. That is why maybe they entered into this crime. Then we train them to be maybe fashion designers, barbers. We give them handworks to do, not necessarily political. So coming to tell us that we are enhancing this indication is not even a point in this debate. Then they told us that to increase fear by those people. Then we asked them, what happens when those people commit the crimes again? Is that when we implement this ban? They failed to tell us. They also told us that it will be infringing on their constitutional right. And I told you, rights are not absolute. They also told us that it will defeat the aim of prison. I'd like to correct the notion that the closing member of opposition came to give. My member of government did not say that we are spending funds to forming those people. We spend on trying to maintain prison years. We spend on trying to make those places comfortable for those people. And those are taxpayers' funds. The funds that come from people who those crimes are perpetrated against. We are saying that it will reduce government expenditure because if we are able to maintain a stable society, people will not go into crime. Then we will not even have the need to reform our prisons, let alone the prisoners in there, because there won't be. Now, what the closing government bring to this debate? We told you from side closing government that it will increase deterrence. We told you also that it will increase legitimacy, in that the people who have no trust in the government, who will not allow an ex-convict to come and be the ones to lead them, who will not allow somebody that has stolen before, that has killed before, and maybe by chance or by an act of nature, he was let out of prison to come and lead them. That means the government is a sensitive one that has the protection of people at heart. We also told you that it is punishment is essential. Some people maneuver their way through the legal system, and then they come out and we want them to come and contest. So if we put this ban on them for life, we'll be punishing them by extension. Either you know that you don't have the possibility of ever realizing you're doing politics, then you will even encourage the younger generation never to even follow your trend. We also give you benefits that will be instituting a government which people will have trust. We told you that we increase support for the government and that it will detect people from indulging in crimes. We told you that it will complement the weaknesses of the legal system which is currently going reforms. The legal system has a lot of loopholes in Africa. It is in light of this that we are proposing this policy so that all the loopholes of the government will be checked, and at the end of the world we have a stable society. We advocate for change in Africa, and it's on this basis that I'm proud to.
Welcome. Opposition race to wrap up this debate for us.
Good evening, Alex. It's really been an awesome session, and my distinguished parliamentarians, it's really been lovely engaging in this show with all of us. As the whip of the opposition, I want to do some basic things, and that's basically what I stand here this day to accomplish. First and foremost, to bring about necessary rebuttals, to weigh the clashes. First of all, set clarifications that need to be set, especially as regards to the closing areas of the house, rebuttals, weigh clashes, and bring a constructive summary of what has gone on in this debate. So anyone who walks in here will basically know what has gone on in this show. But before then, I would like to clarify something that has really been so wrong with the government side of the debate. Now, we have a status quo which they agree is bad. A situation whereby, even based on the motion, we believe that there is a problem, so we want to ban. Now the question is, what is the problem with the status quo that we really want to ban? They've only succeeded in telling us why they want to ban it, but they've not at all told us the problems with the status quo, and also that this problem